Good morning, kids, and today we're checking out a brand new video from True Green 7 of turning more cartoon characters into Pokemon, Episode 3. Let's hop in and see who gets Pokerized today. Yeah, there we go. That's a pretty good one.
Hey guys, Ron here, and for almost 2 years now, I've been making videos where I turn pretty much anything into a Pokemon. And in this series, I've turned some of your favorite Western animation mascots into some pretty respectable pocket monsters. It's not easy translating these incredibly goofy and sometimes relatively mundane human characters into Fakemon, but God is it satisfying when it works. After all, my two favorite interests are Pokemon and animation, and this series is a perfect way of combining them. So please, if you enjoyed this video and want to see part 4, leave a like and subscribe, and make sure to check out the previous part if you haven't after this. Let's begin with one of the most recognizable cartoon characters of all time,
Really?
Peter Griffin. Love him or hate him?
Oh, whoops. Hold on. Sorry about that. Didn't realize I was still up.
Peter is an animated icon. Family Guy has probably entered your life at some point, either through TV or memes. But I'm gonna try my best to take this seriously and make a relatively believable Pokemon, no matter how cartoony and ridiculous the source material. So, if you don't know, Peter is without a doubt the most idiotic and borderline psychopathic of the adult cartoon dads. He's gone from dim-witted to a literal abuser, so I'm definitely thinking Dark-type is appropriate. Originally, I was thinking Fighting type since he's known to tussle, but then I realized something. What is the most famous aspect of Family Guy? The cutaways. Remember all the times where Family Guy just cut to a random joke that barely had anything to do with the plot? I mean, that's kind of the format of the show. So how about a Pokemon that literally makes you remember? Its brutal punches make the opponent forget that it's in battle as it begins to reminisce about the past. So I'm gonna make a psychic dark type that messes with your mind. The concept was fairly easy. It's translating a fat cartoon man into a Japanese elemental monster that'll be hard. His signature feature is his butt chin. I mean, that's something that doesn't translate well into any Pokemon. Even if it did, it would be pretty tough keeping this video monetized with that chin at least. So I'm gonna take inspiration from another ape that has facial protrusions, the male orangutan. A Pokemon that will be somewhat related to Oranguru. I was originally going to take inspiration from the Siamang, but the body and shape of an orangutan works way better for a Peter Pokemon. Oh my god, their faces are crazy. I'm starting with the basic silhouette of a Peter Griffin-esque creature, one that is standing its ground. I was originally thinking of an orangutan-like beard that alluded to Peter's chin, but that basically looked nothing like his original chin. Maybe a beard that is closer to his butt chin.
There you go. That's better.
For now, it's a goatee in the shape of Peter's chin. Shaggy hair was added before I manned up and had the gut to simply give it a Peter Griffin chin. With the lower half of Peter's face successfully transplanted into this Pokemon, I thought it looked enough like Peter to deviate on the rest of the body. He's pretty much like Bigfoot, a Gigantopithecus. The challenge was to try giving him a head that takes some kind of inspiration from Peter. Do I add hair, glasses, or perhaps patterns that look like a brain? I settled for nothing at the moment before finishing off the rest of the body and adding patterns that look hypnotic and serene like brain waves, but will also allow us to give him the colors of Peter's clothes later on. I finally decided to give him a spiky hairdo that both a man and other primates could easily sport in the wild. The colors were originally darker like an actual orangutan and to denote the dark type, but as I was adding the color scheme of Peter's clothes, I thought it wouldn't feel complete until I added Peter's skin color, with a bit of pink to showcase the psychic type. The final color palette will include a few more darker colors. Beware.
Oop. Hold on, folks. Be right back. And we're back. Let's go.
Beware, Remembrute, the memory Pokemon, a psychic dark type. On occasion, Remembrute is oafish and kind, but is prone to being selfish and reckless. They are highly competitive and never go easy in battle. They attack their foes with a flurry of punches that stimulate the brain of their opponent. Their strikes are so
you better explain what Cutaway does.
Devastating. They put their foe in a trance, forcing them to reminisce about the past, all while forgetting that they are fighting Remembrute. Remembrute is extremely lazy,
this is worse
but
than
will work surprisingly hard when they set their mind. While their actions drive others away, Remembrute are highly social and need a family to survive. Groups of Remembrute will often sit in a circle and reminisce. They have a new ability called Cutaway, which is basically reverse emergency exit. When their opponent's HP is knocked to half, they begin to remember the past and forget that they are in a battle, forcing their trainer to withdraw them and send out another Pokemon. Its shiny is closer to the colors I would have given it if I didn't have to make it look like Peter. Honestly, I thought this was going to be the hardest one in the video to design, since it had the least fantastical origin, but the fact that it somehow works is astonishing. I have way more confidence in this video now. Next is Raven from Teen Titans. Really? One of the most Googled cartoon characters of all time. Not gonna say why. Same reason I can't show you the usual Google images.
Now that I can't wait to see.
You may be thinking, Ron, Raven is a comic book character. Does that count? Well, when I was turning anime characters into Pokemon, all of the characters I used were originally manga characters, and nobody batted an eye. So yeah, Raven counts. As the half-human daughter of a powerful demon, she kind of has a plethora of magical and demonic powers. Despite suppressing her demonic side, she's a pretty valiant hero, so despite the mandatory dark type that we're going to apply to our Pokemon, they're not going to be evil, but rather masters of the shadows. I'll make a ghost type covered in a cloak similar to Raven's. I wanted to somewhat be inspired by the bird Raven, but
I was actually going to think like fairy dog type.
Not in any way flying type, so we'll see how that goes. I 100% know that I want it to be a Ghost Dark type Pokemon that is kind of a counterpart to Gardevoir, so
you know what? No, that makes sense.
Feminine in some way. I began by taking her design a bit too literal, basically Raven with a Raven mask. It was basically like a feminine Plague Doctor, but while that could work, there are plenty of Plague Doctor designs, and I want this to look more like a shadowy superhero. A different route I began going in was a feminine bird. We have a good amount of masculine humanoid birds in Pokemon, but not many feminine ones.
There's Hawlucha.
But honestly, I don't want this to look like a literal bird. Plus, the Plague Doctor face doesn't give me Raven energy.
Nah, I could only really think of one human male masculine bird.
What if I went in a more of a Teen Titans Go route? Nah. I think the problem is that I was wanting a dynamic pose, when in reality, the kind of Pokemon I'm imagining is more stoic. So how about a Pokemon that is just standing, but its cloak-like body is flowing in the wind? Its face isn't a literal bird face, but it has features that allude to its birdness. The body isn't necessarily feminine, but alludes to a less masculine frame. The only problem is that it was just looking too much like a generic menacing superhero wearing a cape, so I made it more obvious that the hood is part of the face. The lower half looks like teeth, and there's no mouth visible anymore. The rest of its body includes jewelry inspired by Raven's costume, with some patterns that will help add more color to the design.
That's actually really well done.
Which are really appealing.
Really well done.
Reminds me of how good Raven's design actually is. Check out Ravenger, the empath Pokemon.
Oh, and look at that shiny!
As in the dark color, and Avenger, a ghost dark type. Revenger brutally takes down those that target the weak. It does not tolerate exploitation and will hunt down those that have abused their power. They can project their soul to incapacitate foes and even enter their dreams. They can manipulate objects using psychokinesis and fly. They perch up high in order to sense the feelings of others, looking out for trouble to thwart. Revenger can absorb the pain of others, risking the possibility of going berserk as it holds on to the pain and rage of those they heal. They can extend their shadow in order to trap their opponents. They happen to be rather shy, but will open up to their friends. They have the abilities...
Hold on, folks. I'll be right back. So sorry about that, folks. I'm finally back.
Synchronize, Magic Bounce, and the hidden ability, Bad Dreams. Their shiny is a reference to White Raven. It was a long journey, but I'm happy with the results. It's a guardian angel like Gardevoir, but more brutal. It's an anti-hero to Gallade's heroic persona.
It's very good.
Let's go in the complete opposite way from the previous two. Phineas and Ferb. Two brothers conquering the summer. If an entire family of mice can be considered one Pokemon, then two little boys can be as well. They're very much known for constructing the most elaborate things that instantly vanish before their sister can rat them out. It's very similar to the concept of like forest fairies that disappear when spotted. I'm gonna make two wooden guys inspired by Kodamas of Japanese mythology, and give them the ability to just like build wooden structures.
That's
so here's what's
hilarious.
Nice. It's literally two little guys with the silhouettes of Phineas and Ferb. They'll have branches for the nose and ears and represent different kinds of trees. Phineas will have individual leaves on his head, while Ferb has an entire bush. Their eyes are cute little buttons instead of the biologically impossible eyes Phineas and Ferb have. Little pixie bodies with visible grain. In terms of color, Phineas is obviously orange, an autumn tree, perhaps an aspen. And Ferb, a tree during the summer, maybe oak, elm, or birch. That's why Phineas has lighter bark and Ferb has darker. Say hi to Maykin, the construction Pokemon from Making and Kin, since they are a pair of relatives. They are grass and fairy types. This pair of siblings are best friends that live to construct. They seize every day and plan elaborate activities, constructions, and games for them and all the Pokemon in the forest. Their activities were a mystery for centuries. It was only until modern technology...
Oh, and look at the shiny. He just switches their colors. Ooh, clever.
Allowed their antics to be photographed and documented that the extent of their genius was fully discovered. They can quickly grow entire structures from wood and return their constructs to the earth in order to make room for the next day's pursuits. They barely bicker and channel their energy to only the most productive endeavors. In battle, they summon roots to defend each other. Most of their body is hollow, allowing them to occasionally float on the wind and disappear. They have the abilities Prankster, Friend Guard, and Wind Rider. Their shinies are simply inverse. I feel like this Fakemon has the best balance of any in the series. It's clear what the origin is, while deviating enough to be creative, while still retaining the charm of their inspiration. Their concept is based on the main trait of their cartoon, and naturally implements it into the world of Pokemon. I'm very happy with this.
Oh, you should be. It's good. We'll be right back. And we're back with the final one.
Finally, we have a highly requested character.
Danny Phantom. Oh, now this is gonna be good.
Danny Phantom. Using his ghost powers, he can walk through walls, disappear, and fly. He's much more unique than the other guy. And naturally, since Danny has to balance normal teen life with fighting ghosts, I'm going to turn him into a ghost normal type. The concept, though, is pretty tough. We already have a more sinister-looking ghost in the video, so I want to make a more friendly and playful ghost. But a ghost boy would look too much like Marshadow, I think. We want it to look more like a teen. But a ghost teen with spiky hair would be too on the nose. A popular ghost normal Fakemon concept is inspired by Schrodinger's cat, though. A thought experiment in quantum mechanics that demonstrates a paradox using a hypothetical cat that could possibly be dead or alive. I won't get into it and why, but just know that a cat that is both dead and alive is a common trope and makes sense for a teen that is both dead and alive, I guess, technically.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the show, you understand.
Can honestly be anything. At first, I doodled little ghost boys because I wasn't really going to translate Butch Hartman's style into a Fakemon, but it didn't feel like Danny at all, so I decided to make it a much more longer ghost, along the same proportions as Danny, but with a cat head, because a regular human boy face wouldn't be that popular and wouldn't be much of a concept. But again, it still looks like a ghost cat and not a Danny Phantom ghost cat. So I made its eyes a bit more Butch Hartman style, but then it looked even more like a generic cat. The pose gave me an idea, though. If it was already going to be a campy, kawaii, cartoon ghost cat, why not go all out and give it Danny Phantom hair, but with a more theatrical theme? Think Cats, the musical, and even Thundercats. That's when I decided to make all the patterns on Danny's ghost hunting suit look like cat stripes and scratches. If you notice, I added a swirl to the ear that's basically inspired by the swirl pattern in the ear of every Fairly Odd Parent and Danny Phantom character.
Yeah,
Once I was done with the body, the colors were pretty obvious. Kind of looks like a white tiger now. Here is...
That is good!
Nyantum, the playful Pokemon.
Oh, and I love that shiny.
A ghost normal type from Nyan and Phantom. Nyantum are friendly and energetic Pokemon who love to help. In battle, they become intangible, allowing their opponent's moves to pass through them. They can phase through solid matter, vanish, and hover above the ground. They swipe their opponents from a distance, releasing a slash made of ectoplasm that hits their opponent. They can momentarily...
This thing would definitely just have Ghost Claw on its moveset, no matter how or where you get it.
Overshadow their foes, entering...
Oh, that would be its egg move. Duh.
Their bodies to influence their actions. When it senses danger, Nyantum releases a visibly cold breath. Nyantum tends to play with their opponents and catches them off guard with their tricks. When Nyantum is on the brink of defeat and stops playing around, they unleash their signature move, Ghostly Roar, a ghost version of Boomburst based on Danny's Ghostly Wail. They have the ability to Justify and a new one called Intangible. With this ability, Nyantum can only be hit by moves that make direct contact. It can still be hit by non-damaging moves, though. Their shiny is closer to Danny's human colors, minus the red. This was definitely the toughest of the four to design. I almost gave up, ending the series completely. But if you want to see more, leave a like and subscribe. Let me know which other cartoon protagonists you want to see me turn into Pokemon, and make sure to check the description for the music I used, the t-shirts I made for you guys, and my Patreon, where you can get cool rewards like seeing my videos days early, which you can also...
Well, folks, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link to the original will be in the description below, and I'll see all you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.